Your dog's tail is wagging right now. As you read this, if your dog is nearby, its tail is likely moving in response to your presence, your scent, or simply the sound of your voice. You've watched that tail wag 1,000 times. It's a sign of happiness, you assume. A dog wagging its tail is a happy dog. But here's what almost nobody knows. The direction of that wag matters, and it matters in ways that reveal the deep structure of your dog's brain. Because the researchers who have spent the last 2 decades studying this behavior have discovered that tail wagging isn't just one behavior, it's 2. And which side the tail favors tells you exactly what's happening in your dog's mind. In 2007, a team at the University of Bari in Italy led by Angelo Caranta published a study in Current Biology that would fundamentally change how we understand dog emotion. They filmed 30 dogs and analyzed the direction and amplitude of their tail wags in response to different stimuli. What they found was so striking that it made international headlines. When dogs saw their owners, they exhibited a striking right-sided bias in tail wagging. When they saw an unfamiliar dominant dog, they showed a left-sided bias. The direction of the wag corresponded to the emotional content of the stimulus. This isn't random. This is brain lateralization. The same phenomenon that makes humans right-handed or left-handed, that localizes language to one hemisphere, that divides emotional processing between the left and right sides of the brain. In dogs, as in humans, the left hemisphere is associated with approach behaviors and positive emotions. The right hemisphere is associated with withdrawal behaviors and negative emotions. Because the brain's control of the body is crossed, left hemisphere activation produces right-sided tail wagging, and right hemisphere activation produces left-sided tail wagging. The study found that when dogs saw their owners, the average amplitude of right-sided wagging was significantly higher than left-sided. When they saw an unfamiliar human, they still showed a right-sided bias, though with lower overall amplitude, cautious approach rather than enthusiastic greeting. But when they saw a cat, the tail wagging was very reduced, with only a slight right-sided bias. And when they were alone or with an unfamiliar dominant dog, the bias shifted to the left. Here's what this tells us. Your dog's tail is a real-time readout of its emotional state. When you come home and that tail is wagging to the right, your dog's left hemisphere is activated. It's in approach mode. It's happy to see you. But if your dog encounters something threatening and the tail shifts left, the right hemisphere is engaged. The dog is in withdrawal mode. It's assessing whether to flee. In 2013, a follow-up study by the same research group revealed something even more remarkable. Dogs can detect this asymmetry in other dogs. When shown videos of dogs with right-sided tail wagging, observers showed relaxed behaviors. When shown left-sided wagging, they showed increased anxiety and cardiac activity. Dogs are reading each other's emotional states through the direction of tail wags, even when they can't see the other dog's face. The tail is a broadcast signal, and dogs are wired to receive it. Now think about what this means for your daily interactions. When you come home and that tail is wagging to the right, it's not just happy. It's in a specific neurological state. Left hemisphere activation, approach mode, positive valence. When you see that right-sided wag, you're seeing the physical manifestation of your dog's brain processing you as a positive stimulus. You are literally activating the left hemisphere of your dog's brain. Here's what none of this actually is: voluntary. Dogs don't choose which way their tails wag. The direction is controlled by the autonomic nervous system, by deep brain structures that respond to emotional stimuli before conscious thought. The tail is a window into the dog's pre-conscious emotional state. It's truth in motion. When your dog sees you and that tail starts moving to the right, that's not a decision. That's the brain's honest reaction. This research has practical implications that few people understand. If you're trying to assess whether your dog is comfortable with a new person or a new environment, watch the tail. A right-sided wag suggests approach, comfort, positive affect. A left-sided wag suggests caution, withdrawal, negative affect. Dogs with anxiety issues often show left-sided wagging in situations that other dogs find neutral or positive. The tail can be a diagnostic tool, revealing emotional states that the dog's face might hide. There's also an evolutionary layer to this. Wolves don't wag their tails in this way. The asymmetrical tail wagging appears to be a product of domestication, a signal that evolved specifically for communication with humans and with other dogs in the human environment. The dog that could signal its emotional state clearly was the dog that could navigate the complex social world of human settlements. So the next time your dog wags its tail, look at the direction. If it's wagging to the right, your dog's left hemisphere is activated. It's in approach mode. It's happy to see you. You're seeing the visible sign of your dog's brain processing you as a positive stimulus. That's not just a happy dog. That's a dog whose brain is literally wired to respond to you with the approach circuitry. You're not just your dog's favorite person. You're the person who activates the left hemisphere. You're the person who triggers the right-sided wag. If this changed how you see that tail, subscribe and leave a comment below. Does your dog's tail wag more to the right when you come home? And if you want to understand why your dog circles before lying down, that's the next video. The science behind it is even stranger than you'd expect.